What's up, everybody? Master Reactor here for the third and final video of the night / morning. It's 3:30. I'm dueling at 3:30 in the morning. I played against Riclar91. I'm pretty sure if you played Go format, you know who this guy is. So let's see what happens. I throw paper, he throws rock. So alright, let's fucking go. I get to go first. Awesome. I beat this guy last time I played him, so let's see what happens this time. I've got Graceful, Jar of Greed, Wing Blast, Solemn, Snatch, and Faith. So I decide to fire the Graceful turn 1, maybe to go for a duo or something. I know I had no fodder, but I drew Heavy. I decided to discard Wing Blast, you see the hand, and Deco, I think. Or no, Jar of Greed, okay. So I set Mirror Force, set Solemn Judgment, and set Deco and say go. He's got Chaos Sork, Ring, Snatch, Knock, Graceful, and Faith. So he decides to fire the Knock. I don't Solemn here. I just let it ride because I'm more important about getting the Faith. So he sets his Faith and sets a Ring and just says go. I draw into another Faith. So I set Faith and say go. He draws into Solemn Judgment. He fires the Graceful into Spy, Tribe, and Upstart. Decides to discard Chaos and Snatch, and he upstarts, discarding some pretty strong cards there. Snatch, Steal. He flips the Faith, and this is what I have to Solemn here, so I save the Solemn for the Faith. He sets a Spy, sets a Solemn, and sets a Jar of Greed. I draw into Delinquent Duo now. I decide to just fire the Heavy Storm right now, and he just changed Jar of Greed and lets it go. He doesn't Solemn or anything, so that's good news for me. I flip the Faith, go get the Graceful. I draw into Knock, Book, and MST. Pretty clutch draws here. I discard the Faith and the MST. Decide to knock the monster instantly. Because this way I figure if he draws a monster, I'm going to have Book of Moon to book my shit down. So it's like, it is what it is. So I duo him here, knock out his hand, swing him for 300, set Book of Moon, and say go. He has no cards. He draws into Solemn Judgment, sets it and says go. I decide to end phase Book of Moon, my Faith now. And I draw into another Faith, so I shoot 3 Faiths back to back. That's funny as shit. Or at least 2 Faiths. So I flip up the Faith, he gets Solemn. I'm like, alright, that's fine. Because I got another one. And then he draws Chaos Sork now. And I'm just hoping that it's not BLS. And it is not. It's Chaos Sork. So he attacks into another Faith. He's probably like, shit, this guy's got every Magician Faith there is. So I get the Graceful back. Didn't even need the Graceful. Just styled on him a little bit. Discard Knock and Sinister. Snatch, Steal it. Summon, let's go, attack. You have to draw Book of Moon to survive now because you have no cards. Even if you draw it, I'm just going to flip it and destroy you. So this is best case scenario, and that was game 1. Quick, fast, easy. Magician of Faith, popping off. Let's go. So game 2, he's got Thunder Dragon, Torrential, Spy, Snatch, Upstart, and Mystic Tomato. He decides to discard Thunder Dragon. I've got Deco, Chaos Sork, Ring, Breaker, and Heavy. He upstarts into Deco, sets a Spy, and just says go. Pretty decent play there. I decide to just set Ring and set Singin and say go. He draws into Upstart, decides to flip his Spy, go get his Spy and defense now. Okay, he's got plus like crazy on me-ish. Then he upstarts into a Reaper, which is pretty good. And he swings, and I decide to go get Spy, because I'm like, you know, I'm just gonna, he didn't have the Knock, unless he draws Knock next turn, I'm gonna get my Spy to flip, and things are gonna be good. So, I feel like Spy was the best pick there, so I grabbed it. And then he decides to set the Torrential and set the Tomato and say go. I draw into Pot of Greed, which was clutch, so I run the Breaker out right away, because I want to try to pop Solemn Judgment so he doesn't Solemn my pot here. And I draw into Knock and Deco, which was pretty fortunate. Because now I get to knock his Tomato and just say go. He draws Magician of Faith for turn. He decides to just set Reaper and say go. And I draw into Delinquent Duo, which is pretty clutch here. Discard, obviously I'm going to hit Thunder Dragon. And I hit it, of course. And I decide to crash to the face down, and it is a Spirit Reaper. So I decide to set Deco and just say go. And this is when the good shit starts this game. This is crazy. This was a crazy-ass game. He snatch steals the breaker and hits it to the deco. I let it go. I draw. And he tries to Reaper me, and I ring it because I'm not going to lose a card. And I'll lose 300. And he decides to set deco and set Solemn Judgment and say go. I gain 1,000. And I decide to fire the heavy, and he Solemns the heavy here. I don't really understand why he did this, because it's like, what am I gonna do? Get my breaker back? Cool, you got Spy to protect it. Like, it doesn't really make sense really to Solemn there, but he did it. He gets to keep the breaker. Good news for us. We're already at what, 9,700? Yeah, we're at 9,700 right now. So I just set Mirror Force, set Spy, and say go. He draws into Sinister. He flips his deco and draws into Regeki Break. And he decides to just crash, which he knows it's a Spy, because I searched it with Sangin, and it's a Spy, so I go get my Spy. He takes the 400, and now he's only at 3,250, and we're at 9,700. He decides to set the Faith and set the Regeki Break and say go. We draw into Sinister Serpent. Probably should have set Sinister here, would have been a little better play, but I just set deco and say go. And I'm at 10,700 now. He draws into Solemn. He flips his Faith up. Gets an upstart, so we gain another 1,000. So we're like, holy shit. Life points for days here. He sets Jar Greed, sets Solemn, and says go. And now he decides to Regeki Break the deco. So it would have been clutch if we would have set Sinister there, but it's fine. So he gets our deco. We throw the Thunder Dragon out and get this, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm just gonna switch this Spy to attack mode and run over the Faith. Main phase 2, run the Tsukiyomi out, and put it face down and say go. We're at 12,700, so we're looking pretty. He draws in a knock. He draws Jar Greeds into Sangin. Set Sangin and say go. I draw into a Spy, so I can't flip and get no more Spies. So I switch the Spy and attack the face down, and it is a deco. He grabs a deco. It's a Sangin, and he grabs deco. So I run the Tsukiyomi out and set it. Now we're at 15,700. No, 13,700, excuse me. So he's literally has to get through 2 Spies, and I got Mirror Force set, just waiting on him. So not dropping no Chaos Monsters. He draws into a Faith and sets the deco and says go. I draw into Graceful. This is a clutch ass draw, like Graceful. He doesn't want to Solemn. He says okay. So I get to draw 3. Tribe, Solemn, and MST. So I discard the Sinister and the Thunder Dragon. Now I'm like, you know what? I think I'm just going to go. Oh, no, I don't go for a game yet. I don't think I game this turn. No. I think what I do here is I just flip the Spy and just swing over the deco, which I think it is, and he gets Heavy Storm. I set this face down, set MST, set Solemn, and say go. So I'm trying to go for the game shot next turn. He sets Faith and says go. I draw into my Solemn, another Solemn, so now I'm sitting at 15,700. So I'm just chilling. I get my Sinister back in standby phase, and now I'm going to go for the game here. I run the Tribe out. He says okay. That's cool. I discard my Sinister, and I probably should have MST'd first, but I MST'd after, so I got his Solemn with the MST. I should have did that before I summoned Tribe, but he did Solemn anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So I flip everything up, drop the Chaos Orc, and swing for game. GG's, Riclar91. I don't think you did too many misplays. You did all you could do, but it was just crazy as shit how the Solemn Judgment on the Snatch may have been a misplay, because I wouldn't have many life points, but I don't think it really would have mattered. But GG's, that is the video, everybody. Y'all have a good day or night. Peace out. Bye. See ya.